Welcome back. The Lagos State government has introduced Special Offences Task Force, which favors the removal of number plates of erring vehicles over clamping down and towing of vehicles. According to reports, the state government says the new method being adopted by the state task force, particularly for illegal parking of vehicles or obstruction of traffic, simply involves capturing the offense on video. Bere, what are your thoughts on this? It's your view. You can let it count. To join the conversation, you can call us on 07080668014, or you could tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. It's as simple as A, B, C. Ada, what are your thoughts on this?
I think I like this new move.
Okay,
it's
why?
It's a welcome idea. I think it's more, well, I don't want to use the word sophisticated, but I think it's more convenient. I mean, it's convenient. It's more convenient than clamping down and dragging it. I don't like that sight. I think it's straightforward.
But do you think with the fact that we do not have, what's it called? We do not have proper data collation, where, Jumoke, if I take your number plate, for instance, Jumoke can decide, you know what? I will show you. I'll go and look for somebody else and
collect it, exactly.
I can create a number plate in 2 seconds.
Oh, I moved to Bayelsa.
So what are your thoughts?
No, I actually believe it's a more smarter move than any other one that we've tried. And we need to evolve. We need to keep on growing. If you've tried a system and it's not working, there's an issue of corruption in the towing and paying towing fees not going into the official account of the state. Also, there's the case of space to even store up all the vehicles.
And then less traffic.
So I actually believe that taking up the number plates is a good one. And I feel that the cost of the fine is not comparable to getting another number plate. It's actually a process. You cannot drive your car without the number plates. If you do, you'll get fined on another bill would come up. So I think that this is the smartest move, and I must applaud the Lagos State government for thinking forward this much and evolving in terms of ideas.
I must say, in agreement with what Tope is saying, if you remember the Alausa Lasma park, when you go in, because at some point the traffic lights were not working. One day I thought I was on green because there was green and red. I moved and of course I was arrested and they took me in there. There were loads of cars before where they're building the multi-parking something at the Lasma at the Alausa junction. Now there were loads of cars there. And I was wondering, how would you manage this kind of, what's it called? This kind of arrest?
Lagos State has many laudable projects. We have good laws. Effective implementation is what is lacking. 1st of July, the governor came on our show and said, from now on, if you buy plantain chips in traffic, you'll be arrested. The hawkers are still on the street.
They're still.
I'm not buying.
I stopped
from
buying.
Day one. I started rearranging myself. That I can't pay 90,000 naira fine, no. But I've not heard of anyone fined. And if the hawkers have people like Tokwe and I who aren't buying, they'll be finding other jobs. But obviously, there are people still buying.
It's still business as usual.
So it's not just talk shop. It's not just about saying this is what we're going to do. It's effective.
No, but I think it's effective. You know why I say so? If you remember correctly, while we were in, we went to visit YK at her office. Mariah was clearly not parked on the road. She was parked, you know, the walkway. And guess what? The staff ran upstairs and said, "Madam, your car is about to be towed." They had already, you know.
My car has been towed before. I mentioned the story of how I went to an office and I was just going to drop an envelope. So some security man outside said, "Madam, don't park there. Oh, they usually tow vehicles on this road." Oh. I said, no. I'll be back in a second. And when I came back, I was looking everywhere for my car. What happened to this car? So I'm not saying that they don't tow vehicles. You went somewhere and saw overpopulation of vehicles. So that's not what I'm saying. It's not that they don't do it. I'm saying implementation.
No, I'm trying to point out something to you, Jumoke. Are you sure that this implementation, because towing of vehicles, yet they were able to achieve that much number of vehicles in that garage. Now, if it is just to take hold on, if it is just to take the number plate, don't you think it will be more effective for them?
It will. It's more convenient.
Yes, it will be. I'm just saying that there's so many laws that we have. There's so many laws that we have. not all of them are effectively implemented. So yes, I'd like you to see you say it, forewarn us, so that we know that this is what is going to happen in future. I would also like to see you start to implement it effectively.
All right. Okay, we have a call this morning. Samuel, are you there from K2? Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, sorry, I want to talk about this park and the removing of the plate number, because I've been a victim of such incident.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know. You see, some of those policies that of Lagos State government, I'm sure it's going to be abused. Because where I parked, sincerely, it was not a throwaway with the place that you cannot park. I sincerely parked very close, away from the road. In fact, a street, and I parked there. I entered the office. By the time I realized it, they came, removed the plate number of some other people. And the sheriff took us to Alausa. We got there. We could not access those people that went to remove our plate number. They intimidated us. They asked us to go and pay tax. Finally, they made us to pay 15,000.
15,000?
Yes.
Into the government account?
No, not really. We didn't even give us. We went to the people that removed the plate number at Alausa there.
Yeah.
So we asked, what's our offense? They said they did not even talk to us. What they told us was that go and pay your tax. We now asked, but this is not tax office now. Then the man said, open the door. By the time we opened the door, they just drove us outside. It was just as if we were just a bunch of criminals. We were there from 12 a.m. to 5.
No, I want to confirm something. You paid 15,000 naira, right?
Yes.
And you were not given a receipt. You didn't pay into a government account?
No, not receipt. They did not even, no process. We were asking what the process. The man that leads them on the operation said we should go and bring our tax receipts.
Okay,
receipts.
Okay.
So we were confused about this is not, well, this has to do with tax now. So they now start out of their office. When I said, okay, then some of the agents now came and said, okay, go and 20,000. We said, where are we going to get 20,000 from, for Christ's sake? So finally, when it was around 5, another man came and said, okay, we should bring 15,000.
Okay, Sammy, let me help him say something, correct something. Once you're arrested for any offense in Lagos State, you must provide your tax clearance.
Yes,
that is the first criteria.
Since under
Yes.
Fashola, but let me tell you what the procedure is for this one, so you know when they're asking you for a bribe. Now, when I went to their place off Alausa, they gave me 2 tellers. One, 10,000 naira for towing the vehicle into their complex. The other one, 20,000 for my offense. So it was 30,000 into 2 separate banks. By the time I was done, they had closed at Alausa. When I got there the next day, go and bring your tax exemption certificate or tax certificate that you're paying tax. So if anybody is asking you for money outside of this, it is bribe.
Yeah.
And the process is susceptible to bribe, actually.
Yes,
Definitely. That's where we're going to come to. Yinka, are you there? Good morning from Ikorodu.
Good morning, Sally.
Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think this present administration should be very, very careful again. This is what Fashola did during his own administration that people are causing him up to this morning. Ambode has to be very careful with those people that are going to implement this thing. The moving plate numbers now will give opportunity to those who will be stealing your plate numbers, and before you know it, another thing will happen. You see, we have to be very, very careful in Lagos in the way we are looking for money. You see, we are not in a banana republic. There are a lot of things that we can do in a sociable way that people will pay for their offenses. But starting removing plate numbers now, please, we are crying again. This should not add more to our problem.
Thank you, Yinka.
I understand what you guys are saying, but we must understand that we cannot say because things are not convenient, we should let lawlessness win. So if everybody, Jumoke right now would never park in a towing zone again after coughing out. That is the aim of the law, deterrence. So don't commit a crime if you don't have the money to pay the fine.
Absolutely.
But there will be fine if you commit that crime. It's not about making money.
But how do we check the process?
If everybody starts parking on the road, we would have major traffic gridlock. It will disturb our day. So if it will cost you your own day to give other people peace of mind, then don't commit the crime.
Okay, I would come to you, Ada, because I want to know how we can curb corruption even in this kind of a process. But let's take Mark's call. Good morning, Mark. Are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Yes, I'm using my first time I'm coming in.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
I'm an ardent watcher of your program. You guys are doing an incredibly great job.
Thank
I really
you.
admire you men for your intelligence and you guys are awesome.
Thank you, Mark.
Is that it?
Oh, I think we lost him. Thank you so much. So Ada, I was trying to say to you that with the current situation right now where, what's it called now? We're hearing allegations that they asked them to get their tax clearance, and they asked them to get, what's it called now? To pay 80,000 naira fine, and the guy said they don't have 80,000, and they now asked them to get 15,000 naira each. For me, I think that is a clear case of bribery. They've collected some form of bribe and released their number plates to them. What do you think the process should look like? If the government is proposing this, how do you think the government can help, to curb corruption?
I think government I think we should open an account. There should be, what's the word? I want to use a particular word.
Transparency.
Use the TSA system. One single account.
Yeah, I was going to want it exactly.
Because we had what happened in the previous administration. There were different accounts for Lagos State traffic offenses. Now we heard grapevine that there was somebody who was asked to pay, was it 40,000 naira fine for some offense that he committed, and they did. Now, the government traced the money. It wasn't in the government coffers. They found out that only the first account number goes into the government coffers. All the other accounts, some people had manipulated with banks to have it go into their own personal accounts. So, yes, we have to start to implement TSA in states also, where the government only has one single account.
Let's quickly take tweets. Let's quickly take tweets.
Ori Nigeria says, when will the government of Lagos State talk of employing people massively? They should stop thriving in trivialities. Reverend says, Ambode and Lagos State government are making too many laws to enrich the enforcers. Ugochi says, the problem about payment to retrieve one's car plate number is susceptible to bribe, which should be well controlled.
Yeah, that, I think on that note, we just want to say to the government, try to check a process. I like the idea of having an account that is made public to everyone. All right, next on Let's Talk, we discuss image and personal branding. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Branding is common on a business level, but today it is just as important on a personal level. Building your personal brand is very essential for the advancement of your career and as a leader. Joining us on the show is a brand strategist, Mr. Charles Otubo. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning. Pleasure being here.
Now, even from your look, Seth, I'm already intimidated. That So, what is personal branding?
Well, you need to take it from the global point of view. What is a brand?
Okay.
A brand is a storehouse of trust. So you invest in it.
Okay.
And then a brand is also cumulative experiences, which your target audience takes away when they come in contact with you.
Okay.
So personal branding is the cumulative of all the activities you put in place to ensure that there's value attached to your personal brand. So the values, the unique value that's attached to a certain personality or a product. That's the brand. Yeah.
Break it down.
Is there a difference between image branding and personal branding, or it's interchangeable?
Okay, first of all, if you talk about image is perception.
Okay.
That's what people perceive from the outside that you are. Some brands on the inside are different from what they project on the outside. It might be intentional. Sometimes it's not even obvious to them that they're projecting the wrong image. So it takes a lot of discipline to create the right perception based on your intrinsic attributes.
May I break this down with another question?
Okay.
For instance, I want to portray myself as, or I'm a holy virgin, but every day I wear clothes that open my breast, that show my bum, and I'm wondering why I always get whistle calls. So is it that my image branding is wrong to who I really am?
The challenge in that scenario is that brand, or that individual, has not yet been able to define the DNA of that brand.
So how do you define?
You need to go back to the basics.
Okay.
For you to be able to understand your own, your innate attributes, you need to ask yourself some intrinsic questions. Who am I? Who am I?
A child of God.
Now, who are you? What are your core attributes? If your core attributes are not in synergy with what you're projecting on the outside, you have just a donut. Heavy on the outside, hollow on the inside. And that's what will tell a lot of brands. You can create all the noise and all the advertising on the inside, on the outside, but when the consumers and the target consumers come in contact with you, personally, the hollowness comes to bear. That's where you have, there's a major gap between the promise and the delivery.
You know, because I hear a lot of people say that I beg, it's not important.
Yeah.
I mean, let me just do what I have to do, and common mistakes a lot of people make because they just feel like nobody's watching, and so they just act the way they want to do. How important is it for you as an individual to have a personal brand?
Very critical, and I think it first of all starts with the individual. You cannot create a brand if you don't have self-discipline. There are certain attributes of your personal brand you need to die to for you to be successful as a brand long term. You need to first of all understand your core. If you don't know your strengths and your weaknesses, how do you define your brand?
Whoa.
So you need to go back to the core, which is the DNA. The DNA of a brand, every brand has a DNA. For instance, what you like might not be what I like.
Definitely
You
not.
might like watching whatever programs with romance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to watch it. I like to watch maybe
Action
movies or documentaries. Now, those are innate attributes of every brand. Now, most of the brands we see today that are having issues are those brands that have never ever paused. We need to pause. Every individual brand must learn to pause. You must pause and then find what is your purpose.
Wait, there's this.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I have two questions.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can take
Go
it back
ahead.
to back.
Yeah.
Okay, the first question is your brand and relationship. Is there a relationship between the two? Like your personal brand, you understand? You need to, I know you have to cultivate it to a certain, you have to really, because even what I realize is that most of us actually have a personal brand.
Yeah.
But we don't know that, well, it's, some of us consciously cultivate it. So what I'm asking, or the question I want to put out to you is, our relationship with other people, should it also reflect in our personal brand?
Because that's your attribute. Those are your attributes. People purchase you based on your core values. If your core values are not in synergy,
I'm feeling that.
you have, it must resonate.
Okay.
For it to resonate, you must critically assess your core attributes.
Why would I want a Charles Otubo?
My name is Otudo.
Otudo, sorry.
Yeah.
Charles Otudo.
Yeah.
In my, for instance, I'm having an event.
Yeah.
Why
Exactly.
would I pick a Charles Otudo or a Tokpe Makodige? It has to be something that
Unique.
I am looking for that connects both of us.
Exactly.
Okay.
There must be synergy in the in the values.
There's this, you know, in the bid of to attain personal branding, there is what we now call packaging, which is where you lie or when you pretend or falsify yourself to make, like, I want to be called to speak, and then my figure would be 1 million or in 6 digits, and they probably will not give me that with the current car I'm driving. So if I'm going for a meeting, I come and call my friend. I borrow your car. I borrow your G-Wagon. I package myself. What's the difference between, is that in tandem with personal branding, or it is falsifying? Is it right or is it wrong?
First of all, I think that the individual needs to go back to the core. No client pays you based on the car you drive. They pay you based on your content. Invest that energy and time on developing your content. See, if you create the packaging on the outside, which is not in synergy with the inner, you're going to create what I call the brand erosion long term. You can't lie for too long. You can't pretend. Now, if you
can't give what you don't
you
have.
don't- exactly, it's your content. Now, I tell clients that you need to focus more on the content, the inner. The inner resonates on the outer. If you create all the externalities and then on the inner there's emptiness, the consumers will not have the repeat purchase.
Definitely
there will not be
not.
any repeats.
But what if the inner is fully done, as
Okay.
you have taken part of that one?
Okay.
The packaging part, is it necessary?
It's critical. It has to be a holistic attempt
Okay.
from the inside to the outside,
Okay.
from your content. But most critical, you must focus on the internal.
Okay.
So-
the internal is experience.
Who are the people that need personal branding?
Everybody needs personal branding.
Because
Everybody.
I'm
Yeah.
saying, I'm asking, because everybody, once they just hear branding,
Yeah.
they just feel like it's a
Product,
particular
yeah.
For business. and all
no,
that.
not even business.
Company.
Even when they talk, especially personal branding, they just feel like, oh, it has to be a Jumoke, she's on TV,
Okay.
or it has to be Ada, she's on radio.
Yeah.
No, those kind of things.
Yeah.
They don't believe that.
Question.
Even you as an individual, a married woman,
Yeah.
housewife,
Yeah.
you need a personal brand.
Exactly.
Because your own consumers is just your husband and your children.
No.
Unlike Jumoke's consumers,
No,
who are the viewers.
you see, that is the common error you make. That's the error you make, and I want him to correct that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
No, everybody needs to implement a personal branding strategy. First of all, don't forget, even as an individual, you have your consumers at home. Somebody purchases your brand at home. Your husband, your father, your mother,
The
your
children.
your children. Then you have colleagues at work, superiors, and then those that you work with. How do they perceive you? What are you known for? Are you the one that is reliable? Are you the hostile type? Are you the type type of brand that can be relied on? Now, it takes a self-assessment, and it takes a bit of, you need to go backwards a bit, and then sit and ask yourself, who am I?
Yeah, I keep hearing self-awareness. Self-awareness. Yes,
Yes.
Ada, you wanted to go?
Yes. Okay. When I consciously cultivate my brand, and I do it consciously,
Yeah.
and beloved Tokwe doesn't. You know, she's a bit
Yeah.
carefree about it. And I think cultivating my brand also means having an online presence.
Yeah.
What advantage do I have over Jumoke? Will I be more successful?
Two things come to bear. You can be popular without being successful.
Thank you.
Popularity does not equate success
success.
financially. You can be known. Jesus
not
Christ had
monetizing
only
it.
12 disciples, but he's known globally even after his death.
2,000
He
years
was
after.
he was the most outstanding brand till date. He still remains the most outstanding brand. Why?
Yes.
Because it's from the inside. It was from his core, his purpose. He knew what he came for, and he stood for something. So what do you stand for? What do you represent?
What drives you?
What drives you? In building your brand, you need to focus on the innate before you focus on the external.
Okay, so now if I know what and let's go very practical
Yeah.
here so that we can understand. If I know what I stand for,
Yeah.
Jumoke as a TV presenter is a voice of women in Nigeria, especially from Lagos. Jumoke as an event director,
Yeah.
producer is to express effectively
Yeah.
her client's brief in whatever events that she's producing. Now, how do I personally brand myself for the person who's meeting me for the first time knows what I'm about immediately?
First of all, I think it starts with your packaging. I'll come to the external.
Okay.
You have your content already. You already have your audience. You are a gender specific. You're a gender friendly person. You're trying to project the gender
I'm not sure about that.
of your brand. Now, what are the brand cathedrals that surround you? From your call card, your letterheads, the totality. Now, even without meeting you, I can tell who you are.
Based on my call card.
Your total brand cathedrals, they tell me who you are. A lot of brands send things out, and those packages are not in synergy with the global best practices, so they don't get results.
Okay.
Now, a lot of brands have what I call surface branding. Just get it done. Get it done. Just create a logo. Let's send it out. So it's critical that you sit back and critically analyze your cathedrals. Are they in synergy with your brand?
What are my cathedrals now?
I can't tell you what your
Yeah,
cathedrals
you need to
are.
sit.
I need to sit with you and define your brand DNA.
Okay.
Your DNA is from your brand DNA that we will now extract. The attributes of your brand are in synergy with you. For instance, what are your colors? your favorite colors, your hues, your brand behavior, your brand language. It's a bit scientific. It's based on those extractions that we now create what we call the brand.
Now,
And-
we
And
know
for
that
me-
the way to go
Yeah.
right now in our world or wherever economy you are
Yeah.
is SMEs.
Yeah.
I mean, branding small enterprise businesses. I would like you to, tell first of all why it's important,
Yeah.
the brand, their businesses, and also how affordable.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just hear brand and they're already going
Scared.
there are palpitations in the heart because they feel like it's going to be too expensive for my business. I cannot handle that.
Okay.
But we'll do that after this short break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Yes, it's part of our brand. Welcome back. All right, so I asked the question about how affordable is it for SMEs and how important is it for them?
It's critical. The brand strategy is the foundation on which you build every business.
Okay.
It's critical. But most entrepreneurs put it the other way around.
They build
They
the
invest in
business.
building the businesses first before they think about the strategy. So you have what I call the deficits in terms of the foundation. You need to create the brand strategy on which you build the business. It's the foundation.
Okay.
Now, for SMEs, we have what we call the SME package. It's not expensive. It's affordable. You can take it in modules. You don't have to take. Now this is directly for the SMEs and the entrepreneurs. You don't have to take your brand strategy holistically from the totality.
start from
You
somewhere.
can start from somewhere, create an identity. But first of all, go back to the basics. Define professionally your brand DNA. After defining your brand DNA, who are you really? Your
We
attributes.
have to go back to the DNA.
I must
All
find
right.
my DNA.
I know Oluwapo. You've called him from Ife. Oh, that's a long distance call.
Apart from finding the DNA, I know you keep going back to itemizing who your market is, who you want to be seen as. And we already gave example of a decent girl dressing as a prostitute. How do we achieve our brand conversion into making money? Because we have a case of being popular and not being able to monetize or
Your
cash in that popularity. How do we now use the brand? And
All right. Sorry, sir. You answer that. Let's quickly take another call so we don't miss it. Charles, are you there? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name
Thanks
is
for-
Richard. I'm calling.
Oh,
from-
Richard. Thanks for calling. Good morning.
Yeah, that's a nice one you guys have there, Charles Otudo. He's been doing a great job way back 15 years ago. I know him. Fantastic brand manager. Fantastic.
Okay.
I wish you all the best, sir.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
marketing him for us.
Thank you.
They are marketing him on Twitter. Can I
Okay,
just
I'm
take
sorry. Let him quickly answer Tope's question about monetizing.
You need to go back to the internal at that point. You need to put in place, that comes from the brand strategy. A lot of entrepreneurs are not very good businessmen. They have a passion because they are passionate about the business. There's a difference between being passionate about a business or an idea and then being passionate about making money. For many years, I was just passionate about driving the brand and I allowed somebody else manage the
money
internal.
part.
Entrepreneurs,
Focus on your
yes.
core competence.
Entrepreneurs must be able to divide. There's what I call the
Division of labor?
division of you have to now create what I call more space within the brand. One, you have to get somebody else to run the financial side of it. You need to get an accountant. You need to get professionals. You are not a professional accountant. You need to get somebody that will tell you the point blank. We need so amount to run the business for 1 year. You need to put together a financial analysis, financial plan. Leave the emotional part of it out. Then let somebody drive that, because as a driver of a business, you are involved with the consumers. You don't want to fight hard to get your money out of your customers. So you are the nice guy. Let somebody else.
Be the hard guy.
You can't be the nice guy driving the business, chasing the business, developing the business, and then fighting to get your money, because a lot of customers don't pay on time.
I'm too nice.
You need to have an invoicing system that ensures that you're not the one chasing.
Yeah.
You might even come for another presentation there, and your team are fighting for your money in the accounts department. You need to separate the two roles.
Fantastic. So now someone might be watching now
Yeah.
and saying to themselves, okay, he has said it's very affordable. I still cannot afford him. He has said that I can start from step by
Somewhere.
step. I still cannot go to him. What should I do?
Brand
If I
myself.
want to brand myself, what are the things I should start with?
Basic.
I
Define,
know about
yeah.
the internal because
Yeah.
I'm going through a series of trainings
Yeah.
and learnings and all that. So what do I need to do?
You need to get somebody. You need to work with somebody.
Okay.
You need to, you can't do yours on your own, but there's certain stuff you can do. One, define your brand. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Okay.
That's easy. You need to sit down and do that. Then ask yourself, who are your targets? Who do you want to be your core targets?
Women or young
Or,
girls.
or the general public? Then you have to you have the psychographic, you have the psychographics, the demographics. You need to define your target consumers. After you do that, now ask yourself, why am I in this business? If
To
it-
make money.
If it's to make money or for passion, that defines how you're going to go about your branding, your strategy.
Yeah.
Or
Now-
for impact.
or for just impact.
NGO.
If an NGO, for instance, it's non-profitable, it's non-profit. So you just need to create impact.
So you can now get sponsorship.
Exactly.
All right, we have Olufemi from Maryland. Are you there? Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, my name is Femi Badmos, calling from Maryland.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Yeah, Mr. Charles is a very good person to me and a very nice person. I just want to commend his good work. I've known him for the past years now. And he's a customer. He also let us know about how to market, how to brand the Mobile, Maryland.
Okay.
So he's a good person.
Now I'm beginning to feel
So-
very
so
jealous. Can I finish my
before
point?
call-
I have a
my
question
point?
as well.
I'm feeling very jealous. All right, you
I have a
question.
Okay, Charles Otudo, you were so popular back then, 15, I mean, the years have been very kind to you. He looks amazing.
He looks young for his age.
He looks young, extra young. Okay, so I just want to know, what have you been doing? Why did you suddenly
Leave the social
Exactly.
media.
Okay, first of all,
you were so
don't-
popular back in
Don't
those
forget,
days, yeah?
every brand has what you call evolution.
Okay.
You evolve to a point where you need to understand the evolution of your business. There's certain clients you work with. You decide you now have to go to the back. You have to take the back bench because you don't want to compete with
With them,
the
so they can
imagery.
shine.
We did a lot of work with government. In government, you need to be very careful. So then that's separate, that's different. Then, personally for me, we got to a point where I had to reassess myself. I had gone through a lot of internal, external, and then you get to a point where you get to that intersection called the quantum moment. The quantum moment is a personal thing where you decide to stay internal and focus more on the internal and then build for the long haul. It's
All right,
strategic.
we have a call. Biodun from Agege, are you there? Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling.
He lost the call.
Oh, so sorry. I wanted to say something. based on all the calls that have been coming in, you know, because they've been saying, "Oh, you're so you're impactful, you're helping them," and you already mentioned how you monetize and then separate that. How are you right now doing your job in terms of branding people, adding value to people, and doing charity at the same time?
Oh, it's very simple. There's the Charles Otudo brand, there's Astrat brand. They're two different things. They're two different brands. There's Astrat.
That's your
What
business.
I successfully did was create the Charles Otudo brand separate and then the Astrat separate. Astrat is the official brand. If you bring your brief there, it's official. That's it. I can function and the Astrat functions. That's a structured environment. I also have my structure, but based on relationships, I can use my team
So
to
it means
support.
we're getting free branding image consultant. That is just what he just
On
said
and after the show.
himself.
On and after the show.
Yeah.
For instance, for personal branding, and there are questions on Twitter concerning personal
Can we
branding.
take some of those?
Okay, let me go quickly to Jamil, who says personal branding excluding acts of immorality, including love for peaceful coexistence. Kingsley says, please sir, what are the little things that matter in personal branding? Ogunwosi says he just nailed it. His analysis about brand audit and brand mind map works. Kudos, Mr. Charles. Mary Ola says, I like your lilac purple color. I'm a public health professional who loves to help everyone,
Maybe the
especially
socks.
women.
I'm not sure.
Actually, they're picking out your colors. Okay, before my question, Salam Iroko says, good morning, ladies. Who are still waiting to hear your pledge. So my question is, on personal branding, for instance, if you work in a work environment where you are an honest person, you have integrity, people can trust you, and because of some of the things that you have to do for your work, you don't want people, your colleagues, to start to say, this one, don't mind how Madam holier than thou. How do you manage your people perception with your core values?
First of all, you nailed it. If your values are integrity, you owe nobody else any explanations. That's your core values. Long term, I'll give you this instance. For many years, I was known, I don't give bribes. I've never given a bribe to win any brief. Never, not once. Now, and we were known for that. If you bring it up, we'll walk away. Not because we didn't want a brief, because for us, it's not in us.
Yeah. It's about integrity.
It's not in our core attributes. It's not part of our core attributes to give money for a brief. If based on our capacity, we must win businesses and we must deliver. That's it. So, and we know what we lost over the years, but long term we gained it.
So once you have those values and you know they are upright values, you don't have to owe anybody any apology.
That's the core part of of that brand.
Thank you.
Consistency and discipline are critical.
Thank you so much, Mr. Charles. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. Thanks, Ada, for joining us today. I know someone out there, has gained a lot. You can start from the small things and make sure that content is key. I am going through classes every day of my life, so you have to do that as well. Thanks for watching today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.